Wow, good morning and welcome to the Vegetology live stream with myself and the beautiful Chris sat next to me. Chris, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good, good. Apart from having a little bit of a cold, we're doing good. So welcome to the live stream. Great that you're here. We are here to answer all your questions that you've been sending in. So we've got a whole list of them that we're going to go through. But if you are watching on the live stream, do say hi. Be great to see you. Great to meet you. Great to connect. And of course, if you've got any questions as we're going through the live stream, put them in the comments and we will try our level best to answer them for you if we can. I'm not guaranteeing anything because, you know, it is still early on a Wednesday morning. So, Chris, can I dare I say it? It is that season where we are now entering into Christmas. We're getting there, right? And so we've got all of these things going around, haven't we, in our heads, all about Christmas. What are your preparations like as we enter December? What do you do? What's some of your traditions?
Oh, well, this time of year is just crazy in the supplement world, of course, because, well, everybody is getting colds or trying to fight off colds. So this is
Yeah, I
our
know how they
busiest,
feel.
yeah, it's our busiest time ever. So to be perfectly honest, Christmas has no preparation whatsoever. The week leading up to it is just one massive relief of the craziness is gone and we can relax. So at the moment, I've got another almost month before I can think about Christmas.
Oh, really? Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. It's one of those, isn't it, Christmas, where it's both a great time and a complex time. So I totally get what you mean. So, but traditions-wise, what's fascinating, I was reading this article this morning about the different traditions, you know, different countries have and different people have around the world. What's one thing you guys do as a family? What's your, you know, one tradition that you have as a family that you've just got to do every year? Or do you not, is it like different every year for you guys?
Yeah, I get just the standard really. Obviously, we always make sure we're together Christmas morning, have dinner together, but that's pretty much it really. We just keep it very low key, just about the wife and the kids really for us.
Oh, I see.
There you go.
Smooth, smooth. We
Just a thing.
yeah, we every year we have this thing. The first weekend of December is when we put our decorations up, and as a family, we all wander down to get the Christmas tree, which I you know is one of our little traditions that we do and we like. So I don't know if I'm starting to feel festive yet, though. I don't know if whether November's a little bit too early. We've obviously got Black Friday coming up, the Black Friday weekend. And just to say, actually, there will be some offers on the website. It's one of the questions. What offers have we got going on for Black Friday? Keep peeled. You know, keep your eyes on your email is my advice. And there will be some stuff coming on the website. But yeah, we've got that coming up first, and then it's Christmas, and then of course it's Veganuary. We've got a whole bunch of stuff coming out in Veganuary, which we'll talk to you about. But for now, let's jump straight into your questions that you've been asking us. And so the first question we have, actually, there's a very tenuous link to Christmas. You know, Christmas gifts and storage. I can make that link somehow, I'm not sure. But what's the best way for me to store my supplements? That's a big question. So I've got my supplements, Chris. I've ordered them. What's the best way to store them, assuming that I don't want to store them in this biodegradable bottle here?
So for most supplements, as in tablets, capsules, ambient conditions are fine. So average room temperature. So put them into a cupboard, keep them away from direct sunlight, particular amounts of heat or particular amounts of cold, and they'll be fine. If you're taking the omega-3 liquid, it's good to keep that in the fridge because that will start to deteriorate faster than other products. On the whole, refrigerated products isn't so much of a problem. A lot of people like to do that to kind of keep everything as fresh as possible. The only product that can affect negatively are the omega-3 capsules, where they can become a little bit more brittle. And then if you take them out of the fridge and shake them around, they're more prone to bursting. But the fridge is fine. But overall, yeah, room temperature in a cupboard is pretty much the best way to go.
Okay, so that's also fine. Because I do know a lot of people that store their supplements in the fridge on the belief that it keeps them fresh longer. I know people, for example, that keep probiotics in the fridge for that very reason. But other than the Opti3 liquid, we don't really need to do that with the products that we have, is what we're saying, right?
No, that's correct. Yeah.
Awesome. So hopefully that's answered that question there. Um, this is a great question because this is so close to my heart. The next question that's come in on our customer service. Can I add Opti3 liquid, right? So if you're not familiar with Opti3 liquid, let me tell you what it is. So this is Opti3 liquid. This is our omega-3, DHA and EPA in a liquid format. And you can get this in both flavored and unflavored. The flavored has got a slight orange tint to it. This one, I think, is the flavored. You can tell that because it's got the orange, show that on the camera there, the little orange icon. So that's the orange flavored one. So the question is, can I add Opti3 liquid to a curry or soup to hide the flavor, or will it lose its properties if it is served hot? Which I think is a great question.
It is a good question. Yeah, thank you. And it depends how hot. Not obviously the curry. I don't mean in terms of hot as in making you sweat. Omega-3s do deteriorate with a lot of heat. So if you're adding it literally before you're about to eat the dish, that's probably okay. Honestly, I would recommend just adding it to cold products, just in case you're adding it too hot and you will deteriorate those omegas. So maybe if you've got a mango chutney to go with that curry, or a yogurt sauce, then add it to that instead.
See, now we're thinking a little bit creatively. I like that. We did a whole thing over the summer about adding omega-3, the oils. I'm looking for it here, this one. About adding it to salad dressings. That's quite a popular thing. People like to put it in, but obviously salad dressings are cold. So warm food may be okay, but add it to something that's cold. It's probably better, like the yogurt or the mango chutney. Are you a chutney man? Exactly. Do you do the mango chutney thing?
Oh, absolutely. Although it's never the same unless you're in an Indian restaurant. If you get it at home, it just doesn't do the same job.
No, you can never buy it in a tin, can you? You just can't. No. Fair enough. What is the shelf life of your supplements? That's the next question that's come in.
So again, for most, it's at least 24 months, so 2 years. The only exception being Opti3 liquid, which once it's open, we recommend, I think we say on the bottle, use it within 8 weeks. We test it for longer, so it will last for 12 weeks, a little bit longer than that if it's kept in the fridge. But that's the one exception, because as I say, as soon as that bottle's opened, it will start to deteriorate over time. But yeah, most of the products, 2 years, and it says on the bottle too.
Yeah, if in doubt, check the bottle. That's a great. Why does it deteriorate? So if I've got it in this liquid format here, and I appreciate this answer might be obvious, but I want to ask it anyway. And I've got the capsules, right? So the same product, capsule, liquid format. Why does this deteriorate as soon as I open it, whereas this doesn't?
So omega-3s are sensitive to oxygen, basically. So in the capsule form, it's in a protected environment forever. Oxygen, it might permeate that capsule a little bit, but not enough to cause any damage. In the liquid form, we've added antioxidants, so things to help prevent any damage from the oxygen. But of course, there's just so much, it's surrounded by oxygen. Once it's open, the oxygen gets in and it will just start to attack the omegas. And as I say, after maybe 12, 15 weeks, it will start to deteriorate. So yeah, it's literally it's the amount of oxygen exposure.
So in this instance, oxygen is our enemy.
It is, yeah, purely because they are, I could go into the science, it's really boring, but they're polyunsaturated fatty acids, which means they grab oxygen, hello, let's have the oxygen, and all hell breaks loose, basically. That's not a scientific term.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure there's like polyunsaturated fatty acid peacemakers somewhere who try and, but learn something new every day. Thanks. So listen, if you are watching this live, if you're joining us on the live stream, do say hi in the comments and do ask your questions, and we will try and get to them as we are working through some of the questions that have come in over the last few weeks since our last live stream, which you can also check out on YouTube and Facebook, the one I did with Jen, which was it was great. So pregnancy. Let's talk about pregnancy. I mean, obviously you and I are experts in this, Chris. Well, at least our wives are. Yeah. Are there any supplements I should avoid when pregnant?
There are links with high levels of vitamin A being problematic, so definitely avoid that. But really, it's avoid too much of particular nutrient or too little of any particular nutrient. So we've got a pregnancy care formula which is designed for every stage from aiming to conceive right through pregnancy and right through breastfeeding, and that's got the levels of nutrients that we and nutritional experts recommend that people need during that time. So yeah, I think other than vitamin A and high levels of iron, which could be problematic, just everything in moderation,
Yeah.
I would say. And
Okay.
obviously, if you've got any medical history or history of deficiency in a particular nutrient, do definitely get advice, because some women need additional iron, some don't. Some need additional folic acid, some don't. So yeah, it is a little bit individualized too.
Yeah. Okay. So if I've heard that right, there aren't actually any supplements you should necessarily avoid. Just avoid high doses of them, and everything in moderation.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Uh, and is that true? Because the next question here is which supplements can be taken when breastfeeding. So I assume the same rules apply.
Yeah. So again, nothing to particularly avoid. All of our supplements are suitable for use during breastfeeding. But again, yeah, just avoid too much of any particular nutrient beyond the kind of recommended daily amounts. And if you're in the UK, the NHS website is really good as a resource if you're looking for specific advice on levels of every single nutrient.
Okay, so maybe we could link to that. Especially even if you're outside the UK, I think you can still access the NHS website, but obviously your own country's rules will apply. It's just what we're saying. Okay, let's move out of pregnancy there with our pregnancy questions to some more general questions. Vegovit, which is quite a popular multivitamin, which we've got here. The Vegovit one looks like this. I actually take this every day, but so the question is, should I take a Vegovit tablet every day?
I think yes. I mean, VegFit, it's one of our proudest achievements, to be honest. And you might think a multivitamin is a really boring achievement, but actually, when we think about just what we've managed to get in there and how it's designed to keep things apart that don't like each other, different minerals can interact, and all of the different plant extracts and everything, it's a great product.
Mm.
So I would say yes. You don't need to take it every day, as in it won't do you any harm to take it once a week. You feel the benefit, but the cumulative effect of taking VegFit every day is really good, in our humble opinion.
A very humble opinion. You say the cumulative effect. How long do I need to be taking it for to feel that cumulative effect?
I think because it does so many things, it's impossible to put a number on it. But if you are deficient in lots of micronutrients, vitamins, and minerals, typically you feel a bit tired, a bit run down. You're a little bit more prone to getting colds. Maybe your skin isn't quite as dewy and glowy as you would normally like it. They are the kind of things you will notice within days of taking a good multivitamin. So
Mm.
you should feel a little bit more alert, alive. Maybe your body clock's a bit better. And so, yeah, I would expect a rapid, perceivable improvement in those kind of things. And fighting off colds and that kind of thing, yeah, it can be a bit longer. But you sometimes get through the winter and think, do you know what? I didn't get that usual chest infection that I got last year or every other year. Yeah, but it's different for everybody.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And when you say cumulative, in my head, what I'm seeing, Chris, and correct me if I'm wrong here, is actually the more I take it, the bigger the sort of the benefits. It's kind of like lifting weights, isn't it? I suppose the more you do it, the stronger you get. Is that the kind of thing that you're talking about? This is sort of it builds up over time.
It does, because if you are deficient in any vitamin or mineral, if you take one vitamin, it will address that deficiency for one day. But obviously, unless you've addressed the problem, or if your body's natural way is to be low in certain things, of course, if you don't take it ever again, it will simply drop back down. And some vitamins are water based. The B vitamins, for instance, are water based. You can't store them. So
Mm.
again, if you're not taking it every day or regularly, those levels will just drop again. So there's no doubt, if your nutritional status is a bit better consistently or cumulatively, you get a better overall benefit.
Okay, that's top advice. Now the VegFit is one of the multivitamins that we have. And there are some others. You mentioned the pregnancy one, for example, We've got one called Active Energy. We've got the bone care one as well. When taking, it's probably just worth touching base here. Let's say I've Vegemite and I've just got Active Energy here on my desk. Which one should I take? Should I take both? Should I alternate? How does that work?
So we get this question a lot, and I think firstly I'll put the pregnancy one to one side, because if you are pregnant, we definitely recommend taking the pregnancy care as the primary multivitamin. For everybody else, whether it's fatigue that you're trying to fight or whether you have got bone and joint ailments, our usual recommendation is start with Vegemite, because it's kind of got everything, including the kitchen sink, in there, and we think you will find a benefit. If you don't, or if you've tried everything under the sun and nothing's working, that's when to look for the specialist version. So Active Energy, if you really have problems with your body clock or just getting energy at the right times of the day, or if you are suffering with bones and joint ailments in particular, then that's the time to look at the bone care formula. But back to your question is, please don't take them at the same time. So if you're taking Vegemite and you want to introduce the bone care formula or Active Energy, our advice is use Vegemite on Monday, bone care on Tuesday, Vegemite on Wednesday, bone care on Thursday. And just alternate, the same with Active Energy. And that's just to avoid doubling up on some nutrients where it's not kind of desirable to do so. Mm-hmm. So for instance, you might end up with too much iron, which it's not a good thing. We use an amount of iron in these multivitamins that is beneficial, but too much can cause adverse effects.
Fair enough. So alternate them is the answer. If you want to go down these specialist routes,
alternate. I probably could have just said that. It's a very long-winded way of saying please alternate.
That's why I'm hosting and asking the questions. You're the guy with all the answers. Would I get too much vitamin D if I took Opti3 and Vegemite together? Was a question that came in.
No. So vitamin D, it's a strange one with vitamin D. The recommended daily amount, or the nutrient reference value as it's now known, is 200 IU, which is, in the eyes of everybody in the nutritional world, is incredibly low. But because that's the level we have to use in most of our products that are for daily use. But the recognized safe level is up to about 4,000 IU.
Oh, wow.
Per day. So if you take Vegemite and Opti3 on the same day, which, by the way, is a brilliant combination for a general supplement regime, you'll be getting a collective 400 IU. So it's a tenth of the level. It's well within the level that is in that kind of safe zone, recognized safe zone, and frankly, highly beneficial. So we would actually recommend to most people to take between 400 and 1,000 IU of vitamin D a day.
Well, I actually, my little regime, for what it's worth, is I take the omega-3, I take the Vegemite, and I take the 1,000 IU vitamin D every day. That's my little go-to. I do mix it up on occasions if I'm doing a lot of workouts or whatever, but that is my main one. So there's vitamin D in the omega-3, there's vitamin D in the Vit3, and then I take this sort of vitamin D booster, which means I'm probably getting about 1,400 IU, which is well within the safe limits. And actually, because I live in England, and especially in Liverpool, where the sun is not, well, we just don't see it, unless we're talking about the newspaper. Even that, we don't see that much in Liverpool, to be fair, for reasons I won't go into. But yeah, I for me, I just feel like actually that even that 1,000 IU boost is probably quite beneficial. Certainly, I feel it. I don't know if that's a common thing, Chris.
Definitely, and you raise a good point that not only in Liverpool, but in most of the Northern Hemisphere, in the autumn or winter months, we just don't get enough sunlight to produce vitamin D the natural way, in our skin. So we need it. And of course, the way we live our lives, we're indoors anyway. Even in the summer, we spend most of our time indoors working or getting away from the sun if it's hot and sunny. So we do need those levels of vitamin D. So yeah, anywhere between 500 and 2,000 IU per day, I would say is a really good dose. If you are acutely deficient, if you've been advised you're deficient, you will probably be told by your doctor to start by taking something a bit higher, which is why we've got our 2,500 IU, because some people take that, some people take 10,000 IU for a small amount of time just to get those levels back up.
Just to get them boosted.
Yeah,
We've had one comment here on the stream, actually. saying, I'm taking 5,000 IUs a day. Laugh out loud. I'm in Liverpool too. So welcome to the live stream. It's good that, there are folks from around the world joining us, and Liverpool, because Liverpool is just the best city in the world. It's a well-known fact.
Yeah, and just on that, I mean, as I say, 5,000 IU a day, it's a great dose, but it is just above the recognised upper safe level for a consistent dose. So my recommendation to that individual, I'm sure you've got a reason why you're taking that high level, probably to overcome a deficiency. I recommend taking that for a few weeks, even a few months, then get a blood test, check your vitamin D status, because you will probably find you can reduce that back down. It might be that you take 5,000 IU once a week or once every few days and basically save a bit of money.
Yeah, absolutely. And around Christmas, that's a beautiful thing, let me tell you. So that's great. What supplements would you recommend? This is not from me, by the way. I just want to point out this is coming. What supplements would you recommend to strengthen hair and nails?
Well, quite a few, actually. And if I was to recommend a product of ours right now, it would be the multivitamin, because actually vitamin C, really important for collagen. Collagen is the building block of skin. Also linked with hair and nails. But there are some minerals as well. So zinc is really important. Calcium is important. There's biotin and some of the other B vitamins. So yeah, it's not a one supplement answer or one nutrient answer. So multivits are great. We are also launching soon. You might know more than me about when. A product called Volagen, which is a plant source alternative to collagen. Collagen usually comes from unsustainable sources such as fish or other animals. And that will be a product that combines our plant source collagen alternative called Volagen, vegan collagen, hence the name, with a few specific vitamins and minerals. So that's hopefully coming in early 2022.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was a good segue, Chris, there to talk about some of the new products coming up. So, we do like to talk about what's coming up. So we do have the vitamin C coming out very soon with the bioflavonoids. You mentioned vitamin C is good for this. And like you said, we've also got the Volagen, which we're super excited about. Great little products. And we'll definitely be doing live streams on that and telling you more about that later. But headline on Volagen, Chris, what's getting you excited about that product?
Yeah, so we've been asked for plant source of collagen since the day we started Vegetology 10 years ago, and I've never been overly convinced about taking collagen as a supplement. It gets obliterated by the stomach, and does it actually do anything? But we've seen some data that suggests it does, and we ran a study on our plant source of collagen. It's an alternative. We've used the building blocks of collagen. So this was an independent study run by the same companies that kind of do here's my best known brand of tomato ketchup and here's my supermarket own brand. So they're testing these things on real people, getting real answers. And the results were incredible. And if anybody wants to see the results, you can go onto volagen.com and it's all there. We've put it all out there. And that's why we're excited, because people have noticed significant differences to their skin within a month or 2 months, and you can see both. So yeah, that's why.
Yeah, no, definitely. We'll put a link to the website in the Volagen website, which is basically, you can't buy the product yet, but you can see the data behind the product and why we went from sort of being collagen agnostics, for want of a better expression, to the benefits of it, to actually, now we can see some data. And actually, once we had the data, and this is right, isn't it, Chris? Once we had the data and the proof, we're like, okay, now we can get behind this. Totally. And that was important.
Yeah, so with most nutrients, there's so much data that's been around forever. We can review articles from the last 50 years to really make sure we know these things are working. With collagen, it's always been a bit hit and miss, and there are products out there that probably do absolutely nothing. So when we looked at the building blocks of collagen, can we recreate this from plant sources, which we've done? Yeah, it was all about, can people actually notice a difference here, or is this a complete waste of time? So we paid for this study, and yeah, that's what convinced us. If the data hadn't come back any good, we wouldn't have progressed with it.
Exactly. So do keep an eye out for that on the Volagen, and also keep an eye out for the vitamin C, which is going to come very, very soon. We're super excited about that. And actually, It's worth just saying that the vitamin C that is coming out is coming out, and this is definitely not the final version of it. This is a sample of the pouch, and so obviously it's going to be nicely designed and actually say on the pouch what it is. I suppose we could just write it on vitamin C and be super kitsch and trendy. But the vitamin C is going to be coming out in the pouches, which is part of our new packaging range, which is also coming out, which we'll tell you more about again in the future. So watch this space. Lots of good stuff happening, lots of good stuff, lots of good changes coming. So, and the vitamin C, we're excited about that as well. So let's just explain a little bit about why vitamin C. I get why bioflavonoids. Why did we throw those in there? Other than to sound really cool.
Yeah, so I mean, vitamin C, it features in a lot of our products, but again, we've been asked for a long time, can you offer just a standalone vitamin C? And we wanted to do something that, again, we believe in. It's not just another bog standard vitamin C on the market. So the first thing we've done is we've created a balanced formula that's high strength, so it's still 500 milligrams of vitamin C per dose, but it's in a form it's gentle on the tummy, because what some people find with higher doses of vitamin C, it can cause a bit of stomachache because it's acidic. So we use a balanced combination of the forms of vitamin C to overcome that, despite still being high strength. But we combine them, as you mentioned there, with citrus bioflavonoids, which sound really techy, but ultimately they are the antioxidant parts of citrus fruits. And vitamin C is already an antioxidant, so fights oxidative damage from the sun, from car fumes, cigarette smoke, just fights off colds, supports the body. But these two compounds, vitamin C and citrus bioflavonoids, work together synergistically. What that means is the citrus bioflavonoids will help your body to get the best out of the vitamin C. And it's a pretty well-known combination, but we've used quite an elevated level. So we've been playing with how much, as usual, how much can we squeeze into these capsules?
It's been funny with the emails flowing around between the guys doing all the developments. Watching those is it's just quite fascinating. A friend on YouTube here that asked about the vitamin D. Just going back to that, said they were deficient in May severely, which is why they were on the 5,000 IU dose. They've also been reading up on the vitamin D links in COVID. And obviously the government was very keen that everyone started taking vitamin D. Certainly it was this time last year, wasn't it? It all sort of came out from memory.
It was, yeah. So it's been interesting. The evidence is overwhelming, I have to say. But we're not allowed to say anything, of course. And there's been so many good news reports and articles that obviously that our friend who's commented there has read, which is fantastic. But of course, that you do get the ones that maybe rubbish it as well, because there are some pharmaceutical companies needing to make a lot more money than they make with vitamin D. But,
not that we're saying this, not that we buy into any conspiracy theories whatsoever.
Not at all, but I think the evidence speaks for itself when the government are recommending people take 2 micrograms or 400 IU per day during the autumn or winter months. That probably tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, absolutely. He's also written here. I've assumed our friend is a he, and that's wrong of me because I don't actually know. Lots of fillers in most vitamin C too was one of the things they wrote. Is that your experience?
Fillers, yeah, there can be. Now, in fairness, I want to defend my probably competitors or people in this industry. When we talk about fillers, it's a bit harsh because ultimately, when you look on the back of an ingredient list for a tablet, what a lot of people call a filler are typically the things that are holding the tablet together. So without the fillers, you'd end up with a kind of pile of powder in your hand. But one of the reasons we've put this into capsules is you don't need what we call an anti-caking agent or a flow aid, which helps you form the tablet. So in the vitamin C capsules we've got, you'll just see HPMC, which is the capsule itself, and the active ingredients. And I think you might have a small amount of bamboo extract, I can't remember, just to help it flow, which is important when we're trying to fill the capsules. But yeah, fillers, I know where he's coming from, or he or she, sorry. Some use a lot, some do kind of bulk things out to make products look bigger and better than they are, but we certainly don't. We've barely got room for the things to hold the tablets together, never mind filling space with other things. If I could get more nutrients in products, I would. Every time. Much to the annoyance of my technical colleagues. But
Yeah, no, it's a fair comment. And apparently, it is he is he. He's informed us with a little thumbs up emoji, which is great. Sorry, I shouldn't have assumed. Um, let's talk about kids briefly. On my list here that of questions we've been sent in, can I give Vegemite to my 1-year-old? Going back to our Vegemite conversation. So Vegemite, if you're just joining in the live stream, is our multivitamin here. We talked about it a little bit earlier on about why you should take it every day. But can I give it to my 1-year-olds if I give him 1/4 of a tablet and maybe crush it up?
So the Vegemite formula itself is fine for kids, including 1-year-olds. But the issue is it's a hard capsule. So definitely, I don't think we recommend children, I think above 11 or 12, because of the size of the tablet. And it's a hard coated tablet for a very good reason, because it's designed to protect those nutrients in the capsule, but also tablet, but also keep some apart from each other. We say it's compartmentalized, which means we're trying to keep iron away from zinc, away from calcium, away from some of the vitamins, so that when you take it, it doesn't just clump together and pass through the body. So one of the downsides of snapping Vegemite into several bits is A, that coating is lost. So some of those nutrients are exposed to the elements. Um, what was going to be my B? Or yeah, B, some of that protection, that compartmentalization I've mentioned, it can be lost too.
Mm.
In short, yes, you can. It won't do any harm if you want to crush the tablet. That is fine. But we are working on a children's multivit. It's very difficult, but we're still trying to crack it. I can explain why it's difficult if anybody's interested. But
Yeah, it's one of that. Yeah, I mean, I've never actually going back to the veg. Sorry, the chap on YouTube has just said his break's over, so he's got to run. So thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. He's actually a customer. He says I'm a Vegetology customer, by the way. Always get my omega-3 and multivits from you guys. So thanks for being part of the team. But it's good to have
yeah,
you.
we're not paying that individual to say these comments. We should have these.
Yeah, we should have. It's a shame he's gone actually, because I would have said to him, "Listen, get in touch with us. We do a little giveaway on each live stream, and I will quite happily send you some omega-3 and your favourite multivitamin. So if you're still watching, if you're watching the rerun, do get in touch with customer service, and we'll let you know. We'll send that out to you. So going back to crushing the Vegemite, how's that going to taste? Because that would be my thing. That's going to
That
taste
was my
right.
B. I forgot about that. It's the taste. So anyone who's taking Vegemite will know it's got an odor about it, and it's got a slight taste because of the odor, and that's because we use obviously high levels of fairly pungent ingredients. So some of the B vitamins in there taste pretty strong. Some of the minerals taste very sharp, and we use high levels of some plant extracts that have also got very strong taste. So the coating is there to protect. So even though it's got an odor, which we don't hide because we want you to know how strong the product is, once you've taken the product, you can't taste it and it's gone. If you crush that tablet, yeah, you'll be tasting a whole cacophony of sharpness and all the rest of it. But yeah.
I was I every now and again I think I wonder what would happen if I threw one of those into a smoothie, and then I'm just like I'm just not willing to try it.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy just to swallow the thing. But so and again, this is part of the reason why we're like, yeah, we're gonna the kids multivitamin that you talked about, and we're getting, again, this is a new product that is being developed. It is taking a little bit longer than expected. And it's not because of the vitamins that it's becoming a problem. It's because, one, we want to keep sugar out of it, and to put the vitamins that we want in there and keep sugar out of it to get it so it's actually tastes reasonable for kids, which is all part of the way you're going to get them to eat it. That seems to be quite complex.
It is, because if you look at a lot of children's multivitamin products out there, and I'm not casting aspersions on them all, that there may be some good ones. I haven't found any, but there may be some good ones. A lot of them are gummy bears or chewable tablets that, as you said, full of sugar or things like that. And they're probably doing no good at all or very little. So we can't compromise on what we want in there. We want iron in there. We want zinc in there. We want the B vitamins, the vitamin C in there, but we want it in a form that it's not a tablet that's so big that the children won't take it, but it doesn't need so much flavor and sweetener to mask the taste that, again, it's doing more harm than good. So I appreciate people are probably frustrated. We keep getting asked, when's it coming? But unless it's right, it ticks all our boxes, we just won't launch it. We cannot bring ourselves to launch a compromised product. So
Yeah, no, it's fair
we'll keep
comment.
going with it, but we're not there yet.
Although you did discover recently the effects of one of the tests was the purple tongue, right? Which I think
It
is a
was,
big selling point for kids myself. Maybe
well, when
not
I say
parents,
purple
but for
tongue,
kids.
it was purple everything. I mean, I tried this tablet that my colleagues had made. It didn't even have anything that was purple in it. That was a strange thing. It was a reaction with one of the minerals, and my whole mouth looked purple. It was quite special. Yeah, kids would love it. The parents would go crazy, but the kids would love it.
So you never know. If enough people say yes, we'll buy the purple thing, then maybe we'll do it as a special. So what supplements do we recommend for kids that kids can take? Because obviously the tablets are big, and we wouldn't recommend those necessarily for 1-year-old unless you do crush it up, which is going to taste a bit weird. But what would we recommend for kids?
So of our current products, Opti3 liquid is brilliant. Vitashine spray is also brilliant. And of others, I think if you are looking for vitamin C, the capsules we're about to launch are pretty small. They're good for most kids. But yeah, you can obviously, I don't want to promote other people's products, but things like vitamin C effervescence that you can buy in most high street chemists are pretty good for kids too. And yeah, watch this space, because hopefully we'll follow with a more general multivitamin.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. So the oil, obviously, you can take that by the spoon, or you can put it on their food. The vitamin D spray, which is here. I knew I had one somewhere. The vitamin D spray is just something you just literally spray on the tongue, and away you go. So they're very easy for kids to take. I think we've answered the next question. I'm looking to give my 6-month-old a supplement B12 and an iron supplement every now and then. Would the new kids multivitamin be suitable for this when it comes out?
When it comes out, yes. They are both in there, hopefully.
Very good. Does the vitamin... So let's talk a little bit more about B12. Excuse me. Does the vitamin B12 contain the same amount of B12 as the active energy complex? So there would be no need to take both. So that's a good question. If I'm taking active energy, do I need to take the B12 supplement?
So it contains the exact same level. So in short, no. If you're taking active energy, you should not need to take an additional vitamin B12. The reason they are different, and we don't just sell it as one thing, is the vitamin B12 sustained release is designed, as the name suggests, to offer a release of the B12 over time. So whereas active energy, it's a big hit of all of those B vitamins, including B12, for energy at that moment in time. The sustained release vitamin B12 tablet is designed to release it over 4 to 8 hours. And that's just the way the tablet breaks down in the tummy. The reason for that is a lot of people, particularly vegans and vegetarians, are quite severely deficient in vitamin B12, and you can't really store too much of it, so it doesn't build up. So rather than just getting one big hit and the vast majority passes straight through you the next time you go for a wee, we do it this way so that your body can grab more over a more sustained period of time. So the tablet is definitely more designed for people who are deficient, whereas active energy is all about energy and fatigue.
So does it matter if you do take both?
No, you can't really get too much B12. It's just a bit of a waste because it will literally just pass through. Obviously, if you are acutely, severely deficient, then the more you take, the more chance you've got of grabbing what you need. But it's probably quite an expensive exercise.
Fair enough. And would you take, is that true of, say, VegVit, or would you take the B12 supplement with VegVit?
So there is some in VegVit. It's a slightly elevated level to try and address most people's deficiency, because the vast majority of us are deficient in B12. I think the percentage is upwards of 70% in most population groups. We just don't really think about it. It's just not as high level. It's nowhere near as high level. And as I say, it's not designed for this sustained release effect. It's one of many things in there to get a kind of catch-all effect. But those at most risk, maybe consider the B12 on top, even if you're taking VegFit.
Very good. Very good. So Maybe we've answered this question. I'm a vegan and I want to change my vitamin B12. Does Vegemite contain enough on its own to cover the vegan deficiencies? I think you've answered that. Or do I need the additional B12 supplement? Okay, yeah. I think we've just covered that, haven't we?
Yeah, I think so. But again, it's so individual. It's difficult to give a firm answer. So I would say most of the population will benefit to a good extent from VegVit and the level of B12 in there. But if you are vegan and you've been vegan for a while, you are probably likely to be more deficient than VegVit alone will help with. But the best way to get that answer is to get a blood test. It's get a B12 test through your doctor, and that will tell you everything you need to know.
Very good. Very good. Well, Chris, I think we've gone through a fair few questions there, and I'm aware of. We seem to. I don't know how long we've been going for, but it's 42 minutes we've been live, which has just flown by. Yeah. So I think we'll probably end the Q&A there. So if you do have any, if you're watching this and you still have questions about the supplements, do get in touch with us via the Vegetology website, vegetology.com. You can reach out to us through the customer service and we will endeavour to answer your questions as best as we can. I should have checked this beforehand. I don't actually remember when our next live stream is. I think it's in a few weeks' time. We're trying to do these every couple of weeks, every 3 weeks, something like that, where we just come on and we just answer your questions. It's always nice to interact with you. So if you've got any questions that you would like us to ask in the next live stream, then by all means, Sadaf's told me here it's December the 7th is our next live stream. So not too far away. So our next live stream is December 7th. Be great to see you there. Come join in, say hi in the comments. We always love to meet customers and answer questions if we can on these live streams. Chris, anything else from you?
Not at all. Just to say good luck with Green Friday. For those watching, Matt and his team do a sterling job in the fulfillment centre of Vegetology products. And this, it's fair to say, is the most crazy week of their year. So please give us and them a little bit of a break next week when we're getting up to speed with the ridiculous number of orders we'll be getting over the weekend.
Yeah, there's no doubt going to be a fair few. And of course, to add to this complexity, this week we're all good, but we decided that we would move our warehouse, and so so the new warehouse, the new pick and pack station is all up and running, and we managed to get in there. We've been distributing for the last week without any problems. So I was all very close, but all done. So we're ready for what's going to happen over the weekend. Obviously, any questions about the offers and stuff, reach out to us and let us know. We're going to have all kinds of folks. Sadaf, Anna Grace, everybody is, Joella, I think, Shell, everyone's working this weekend. So we're all ready to answer your customer service questions if you have any. So yeah, been great to do the live stream. Thanks for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk with you. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Don't go too crazy. You don't need to. And we'll be back again in a few weeks. Chris, thanks for joining me. Always fun.
Pleasure. Good to see you.
All right.
Until next
bye.
time.
Cheers, everybody. Bye for now.